Now we have a special presentation from one of our international speakers. Let's welcome Sharon Rose Master James Chung from Singapore. Let's watch together.
Hello and welcome everyone to this session. I'm so thankful to be invited by Atomy, Oceania to share with you some of the ideas that I know, some of my journey, the experience that I have, and how I have started my road to success, and how this can be something that you want to learn and you want to consider. Now, this evening, I just want to share with you what I would like to talk about, and that is basically about ritual success patterns. Now, this is about the journey that I went, and in the journey that I went through, I suddenly realized there is actually a pattern. There is a pattern for success. There is. And many times we thought that we can learn to be successful all by ourselves, or we just let it happen on its own. But I can assure you most times it's not going to happen on its own unless you have a plan. Success requires a plan. When I started out, it was all based on a very simple opportunity, that my wife, on one of her days when she went window shopping, she met a friend that she hasn't seen for quite a while. And then one thing led to another. She saw that the friends, her skin was pretty good compared to the last time that she knew about her. And then she asked her what changed, what has happened, and she recommended Atomy. And then that's when my wife, just out of obligation and out of curiosity, just signed up that form. And when she took that form back home to me and I looked at it and I saw the word sponsor, then I know, oh, this is probably MLM, this is probably network marketing of sorts. No, we don't want to get involved with that. But somehow something tells me that I should give it due diligence, give it a second look. So I'm just curious. I like the name, Atomy. Atom and very small, Atomy. Descriptive of the meaning of atom, meaning the smallness, the simple, seemingly the weak. All these basically can make a difference, really, because the next thing from atom is molecule, where it starts to grow. The next thing about the atom is a growth. So when I look at the word Atomy and I saw this company, I thought it's interesting. And then I began to just give it due diligence. The following week, I just spent all the time I have looking and investigating and going online and talking to people, third party, talking to the other leaders. I went down to the seminar. At that time, it was still very new because Singapore just started. And the people there, they were not really able to present. They're not really able to give me the information that I was looking for. Because as a nutritionist by training, I was very particular about professional presentation. I was particular about, the way companies should present themselves, the protocol, the approach, and so on. So when I attended some of these seminars at that time, which was very new in Singapore, there was a lot of a lack of standard, a lack of ideal presentation, protocol, and so on. And I really wasn't impressed with Atomy, really, at that point in time. But somehow I decided that I should give that a second look. And when I Googled and I found him or him, and then the light bulb came out, him or him. There was a product that is along the line of what I was looking for, herbal, very well researched, and something coming from the East, something that is stable. And I was pleasantly surprised it was something that was authorized by, the government funding, and a project initiated by the government, or rather approved by the government. And it is initiated by setups with a huge number of professionals. And so I thought this is interesting. And I began to look at it further, and I began to investigate further. And I kind of like it, but I was still not so sure whether I want to get involved with Atomy in that sense. All right. So what happened was I just used the products and just recommended to my clients, my patients, the people that I worked with to help them get out of chronic health conditions, the people that I worked with to improve their health. And I began to send them the Atomy products, to try out. It's like I'm trying out myself, but because I'm generally healthy, I wasn't sure if it will amount to anything. My marginal, my returns is just marginal, and the impact on me, I can't really measure so outrightly, because it is just that I was healthy generally. For 20 something years, I didn't fall sick, had fever, had flu, or anything like that, because I'm very careful with my food intake. I was very careful with, the various factors that affect health. And I try to keep myself fit, strong, and I try to ensure that my lifestyle have a definite routine and rhythm and a regime that I believe in, because these are all part and parcel of our responsibility to towards our lives, towards our body, and towards the measurable outcomes that may impact the family members around us, our loved ones. So with that, I decided that maybe when my patients who have chronic conditions, when they use it, we can see a difference. And true enough, over a period of 3 months, 6 months, for different individuals, I began to see a difference. And the most beautiful part of it was most of these supplements are, affordable to them, as well as the fact that now I incorporate other areas like the menu plan. We were looking at the beverage that they use. We were looking at green tea. We were looking at some of the, the balanced life, eventually, though initially all these weren't available, but some of them were available in Korea. So we began to access to the full range of products, from supplements to skincare to daily use items, shampoo, conditioner, and toothpaste, and all this begins to work out well, because now I found that I can somewhat manage the toxicity level of some of my patients. And I know that with a company that is very interested in standard, very interested in natural quality and all, surely the toxicity level will be manageable, will be more controlled. So I was thankful that eventually Atomy has proven itself to be a very reliable brand with a good range of products that I can use confidently and professionally for my patients. So eventually I began to explore a little bit more, but that was not until 9 months later when I began to realize that people can be successful in Atomy financially and in a holistic manner, because we are talking about wellness, we're talking about good attitudes, we're talking about a sense of positiveness, in their outlook. And I was quite intrigued by that, because when I talk to people, I look at the energy level, I look at the excitement, I look at the shine in their face, the shine in their eyes. I look at how things have been different for those who were successful. And so I began to query about what it means to be successful. And not long after, I began to realize there is certainly a pattern. And so I want to share this pattern with you today, and because that has been the road to success for me. Am I successful? Yes, I am. Am I already there to be enough to lay back and take it easy? No. There is a bigger goals that I'm going for. Are there not challenges that I face? Yes, there are challenges, but I learned one thing for this last 4 years. I learned one thing, and that is, when you face with challenges, when the going is tough, when it becomes difficult, when your team members are not following you, your PVs are not coming in, people stop buying, and so on and so forth, some of these ongoing challenges that everyone faces, I realized that I cannot solve those problems, and I'm in no control of those factors. And I shall not let all these bring me down. But however, I realize what I can control and what I I am in control. It is I expand and grow my vision. I make my goals, my purpose, my outlook far bigger than the problems I face. The PV issues, the partners not following, things that you planned for didn't fall in place. All this doesn't matter when you begin to look at your vision and your goals. So I found that to be one of the success pattern. Successful people actually have, things that they do in particular that cause them to be successful. Now, I want to move to another slide to talk about the fact that the whole idea of our journey to success, or my journey to success, really is about the success patterns. And success leaves clues. It does. And that has been my experience. It's something that most of us have heard about, success leaves clues. And I just want to share those clues because that is what I picked up, and that is what I hope you will pick up and build them into who you are and how you behave, just like I did. I build them into who I am and how I behave because I see that they were successful. And I see that these are the things that they do, and I decided that I would follow. In fact, in Atomy, from my experience, I found there are two things that will really test us out. Are you able to follow? That is the number one thing. If you like to reinvent the wheel, do things your own way, think about new ways of doing things, think about ways that you thought people never thought of, and you decided that that's a new way and you will make a difference. Well, I would encourage you to take one step back and ask yourself, is it because you have difficulty following others, following the successful leaders, following your leader who is, going for the way of success, following them not because of them, but following them because of their principles, the way they do things, their routine, all right, their commitment to action, and so many success clues that you can see in them. Are you able to follow? And if you are able to follow, the next thing is, are you able to check yourself and be obedient? Because sometimes following, but when you are able to obey what is being told of you, which is part of following, these tools go hand in hand. These tools are left hand, right hand. They go hand in hand. So that when you begin to follow and when you begin to obey and listen and adopt it for yourself and begin to change. You see, I find that one of my biggest challenge was the ability to change. And it's very difficult for me coming from a professional background. And I think that when I thought that I knew it when it comes to this kind of thing, supplements, I thought I knew it all. I even thought I could be successful being a professional, but I can tell you it's not. It's got nothing to do with your background. It's really got nothing to do with what were your past experiences. It has everything to do with whether you would follow the people who are already successful. And it gets increasingly easier as you join Atomy as a member and you begin to decide that you want to do this as a business and you're seeking for success. A lot of us now can be successful easier and faster than those who started, say, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. Because at that time, there were fewer successful people that they can follow. But today, we have a lot of people that are already successful that you can follow. And so it becomes a greater challenge for us who are coming in later than those who have gone before us, our predecessors who have become successful. Now, for us to be successful, actually, it is not harder as many people thought. Oh, the place is already saturated. Many people has already known Atomy. Many people has already joined Atomy. But actually, it is not true. Those who joined recently and later, compared to those earlier, now have a greater sense of success because we have more followers, more leaders that we can follow. And so this is a very interesting development. This is something that we can consider. All right. So success patterns are things you can pick up from other people that are around you. So the clue is perhaps we have to stick around with people who are successful. Hang around with your leaders. We ought to do that. When you consider thinking about success and you want to pursue success, one of the key factors is your environment. And you have got to, immerse yourself with people who are already successful and people who wants to lead you to be successful, because leaders have learned and taught and realized they need to lead others. Otherwise, they cannot be leaders. They lead themselves first and then they lead others. So change is necessary, because as you lead, there are changes to be made so that you are a better leader. As you follow, there are changes to be made so that you are a better follower. So these are the key things that I want to encourage you to consider as we start off this moment of learning, as I share with you some of the clues that I picked up. Now, the best lessons that I've learned in life really are things that I've learned on my own. And I guess it's the same for all of us. We all like to learn things on our own. We believe that what we learn, what we perceive, will be the truth fitting for ourselves. But I want to warn you that it may not necessarily be so, because you do not want to allow yourself to form the world, your perspective of the world, your worldview, based on your one perception. All right? So while I can give it straight up to you, what I believe to the most successful patterns, now it is important for you to also pick up some of these things for yourself, because you need ownership. You need to own them yourselves. However, you don't have to reinvent. You just need to follow and discover it from those who are already successful. And that are the best lessons that I've learned, following others. Now, it has been difficult for me because my leader is younger than me, way younger than me. It has been difficult for me, much older, to follow somebody younger. And that has been a cliche, I'm sure, for a lot of us who are older, right? However, when you follow a successful person, and that is, remember I said you need to change, and therefore you need to be prepared to change so that you can follow better. So if you're around someone who you perceive to be successful, okay, and in what they're doing, then this person you ought to think about following. Look at the way they behave, look at the things they say, look at how they conduct their lives, how they go about their business, how they understand the changes and the development around them. Think about these things. And when you can begin to identify these successful patterns, okay, as they become more apparent, as they become more obvious to you, then you will be able to identify and meet with more and more successful people over time. And you will see the pattern and you will be able to follow more accurately, right? So it is a growth process. So as you follow, I want to encourage you to think about being open-minded. Being open-minded so that you can actually see the patterns that are out there, and they are out there. So tonight, or this very moment, if you begin to see that, the clear patterns are before you, then follow them, right? And when you start following these successful people, you will see the trends and you will realize that things don't happen by chance. I've come across partners and members who say, oh, we are just trying it out. We buy stuff, we use stuff, we would recommend it to people, sponsor people in. And if they do it, if they pick up and then run with it, and I have a lot of PVs in my team, and then I'm successful, and then that'll be great. But I told them, without a plan, it is unlikely you'll be successful, because success doesn't happen by chance. It is something that you must plan to happen. So if you follow, you are following a plan. If you follow a pattern, you are following the plan. It is a plan for success, just like our life scenario plan. There is a plan for us to be successful. If you follow that plan, and you follow the leaders who live out and act out those plans, there's a greater chance for you to be successful, versus you just let things happen by chance. If it happens, it happens. If it does not, well, hey, Sarah, whatever will be. Well, I think that's not a good pattern for success, because there hasn't been such a pattern for success. The pattern for success are representative of People who work hard, who had plans and follow those plans. It could be in their lifestyle, it could be in their work habits, it could be in their belief system, it could be in the way they plan and they schedule out their activities. So these are the patterns that we're talking about, right? So as you start incorporating these things into what you can do on a daily basis, allowing these things to start changing the way you behave, changing the way you live, changing the way you live out your success dreams, then I can tell you that most of these success habits of the most successful people, they are actually doing the things that anyone can do. Once they believe in it, once they begin to work on it, once they begin to have a routine and a habit, their success will come. Because as you believe it, you start to speak it. As you speak it, you start to do it. As you do it often, you start to have a habit. When you have a habit that doesn't change, that brings you to success, it develops your character. That is your character. And when you have such character, a character poised for success, that's where you will achieve your destiny, a destiny for success. And that is what I'm on the road. And that is on the road to success. And that is why I'm also the center manager of the Lifestyle Center Commonwealth Drive in Singapore. I'm on a Commonwealth Drive. My mission and my goals and my purpose is to drive wealth for common people who believe in dreams, for common people like you and I, the average people who really want to pursue success. Because I believe we can be destined for success if you follow the pattern. So your beliefs, your words, your actions, your habits, your character, your destiny. That's how they're all connected. And that is one of the patterns. So a very simple exercise as we go along, as you are looking at this and you're hearing the words that I say and you're allowing some of the things that I say to go into your heart and you think about it, what patterns do you notice that are common among people who are successful? And I want to share with you 8 patterns that I observed so far. But of course, as you also consider the same or more patterns, you jot them down on a piece of paper and start practicing them every day. But I've got 8 for you so far. Well, look around you. Find your leaders that bears these 8 qualities, these 8 patterns. Or follow these 8 because I follow them. I use them daily. Follow these 8 clues and see if you can begin to experience success in different measures, in different aspects. Now, I want to share with you the first 4 factors, the first 4 clues of successful people. The very first one, and this is what I always give myself time over every day in the morning. Every day I think about this, and that is to devote ourselves to purpose. It's a time of devoting. This is one of the first clues. I find that many of my leaders align themselves to purpose. The purpose of what they are doing, why they are doing, their goals, their vision. I find that they are very well aware of what is their next step, what is their next goal. So they commit themselves, they spend time thinking about their vision, about their purpose. And that's what I do as well. And that's what I've been reminded of every now and then. And it just takes 5-10 minutes every day. Just go through. There are many options that you can go through. But I'll give you the details in a moment's time. But let me just share with you some of these 4 things. All right. 8 of them. Let me just share the first 4 with you. And you kind of have an idea that why I separate them into 2 groups of 4. I will explain to you, because that's how I regulate them, so that there is a sense of routine. The first 4 has to do with something that I would do it by myself, something that I would do it because successful people do it by themselves on their own. And I hear them talk about it from time to time. So the first one is to devote time and be reminded of your purpose. Devote yourself to your purpose for your life. What exactly do you want to do? You want to be successful. All right. In what area? Why would you want to be successful? Okay. The second one has to do with Atomy, because we want to make use of Atomy, because Atomy present an opportunity for us to be successful, because they have proven it. They have a success formula that they present to us. So I want to relate to Atomy. I want to have a relationship with Atomy. Yes, people can say you are biased, all right? When anything to do with supplement, you talk about Atomy. Anything to do with daily lifestyle, daily use products at home, you talk about Atomy. Anything to do with skincare, you talk about Atomy. You are biased. Yes, you should be biased, because bias depends on the relationship. It is built on your knowing, and knowing comes with a relationship. As you spend time with Atomy, you will have a relationship, and you will be biased in a positive way, because now you can stand up and stand for something. Whereas when it comes to all the brands in the market, you hardly will stand for any brands. You believe in it, but one day when you realize that the company is not of integrity, they compromise on something, or the company that you really believed in, the brand that you stood for, that you use all these years, is not dependable because they had malpractices in some of their accounting. They do not contribute to charity, or they use substandard materials and so on. You will be disappointed. So Atomy is for you to get to know and keep on getting to know. How? By looking at the people who are involved in Atomy, by looking and relating to the people who stand up for Atomy as well. So relate to Atomy. So how do we do that? In a moment's time, I'll share with you. Number 3 is to notice the products. Yes, you get to know the product, but you need to notice it. When you use the Atomy products for yourself every day, notice it. Notice the difference. Feel the texture, and so on. That's the third thing. And the fourth thing you would do by yourself, that you can begin the first 50% of the pattern for success in Atomy, is to commit to action. Take action. Every day, take action. Be sure you do a lot about Atomy if you really want to be successful in Atomy. And you should go all in and should do it all, because Atomy is part and parcel of your life. Atomy is a lifestyle brand. Anything that you have to do, preferably you do it with Atomy, so that you can gain the full benefits of Atomy. So let's go into the details of first 4 things that you can do that would really allow you to be successful, and you can do them by yourself and experience change. Remember, you must be prepared to change so that you are a better follower. You must be prepared to change so you are a better leader leading your team. So change. There is a parable about a story about old wine and new wineskin. I don't know whether you know about that, but you certainly, if you have heard about that, will understand the principle. And the principle is, if you are an old wineskin and you want to receive new wine, it would be difficult unless you are a new wineskin. All right. In the past, they used wineskin to hold the wine so that the wine is used to the skin texture, and there's fermentation going on, and it's preserving, and it doesn't change the quality and the taste of the wine and so on. So old wine can go with old wineskin. New wine can only go with new wineskin. So if you're receiving a new thing called Atomy, a new lifestyle that has Atomy featured in it, are you an old wineskin or a new wineskin? Are you prepared for something new? Are you prepared for something that will change your life? So are you willing to change, to be the something, the fitting vessel for the outpouring and the filling up of a new thing, which is the Atomy rewards, the Atomy lifestyle, the Atomy success. So let's go into the detail. When you devote to purpose, the first thing is about your life perspective, your motivational resource, your quotations, the reflections that you spend time looking at, your life scenario plan. Some of us Christians will be looking at the Bible. Some of us who are not Christians will be looking at other resources that will motivate you, other things that will give you a sense of beliefs, what you should go for in terms of your sense of purpose. Others will look at books and motivational resources that will allow you to, come to terms with a sense of purpose. Align yourself so that you are in line, in right standing. No compromise, agreeing with your purpose, your lifestyle agreeing with your purpose. I know it sounds philosophical, but without this belief, without this principle, it is very hard to be successful, because one of the success clue has to do with the principle, your beliefs, your perspective. The second thing about the success clue is about relating to Atomy. So relating to Atomy, we are talking about the Atomy culture, the Atomy philosophy. We're talking about a company introduction that you ought to come to know, to understand. We're talking about the Success Academy that you can attend, and now all the online seminars, such as these, that you would consider, all right, to familiarize yourself with, to get to know Atomy, to get to know the people behind Atomy, and see how they are successful, and watch out for the clues that bears the success. And then you know there is a pattern, and you can follow those patterns. Understand the Atomy vision, the road to success. All this helps you relate and know well how to use the Atomy channel, the Atomy vehicle, the Atomy tool. All the plans that Atomy laid out for you, how can you embrace them and use them and make a difference for yourself? And that is what Atomy desire for you to benefit from. Atomy wants us all to be very Atomy. Very small, simple, follow and grow, to become the molecule, to become the tissue, to become the cell, the tissue, the organs, and so on. And grow into the full human body, complete spirit, mind, and body. That's what Atomy is all about, the way I see it. So I am successful because this is my clue, and I believe that's the pattern for it. And I leave you to observe that and to follow that. If you see that also represented in many of the leaders. The third thing about notice the products. You need to pay attention to the products, how you use it, how it is best used, how they are kept, how they are labeled, how they are packaged, the material involved, the ease of use, the taste, the texture, right, the feeling, the smell. Know them all. Use one product and you will be successful with Atomy. I really doubt so, because Atomy is about a lifestyle. And if your lifestyle is only one product, which I doubt so, our lifestyle involves many, many products, from hair supplement to skincare to home use to personal hygiene, all right, to household. We use many, many things. And Atomy have many of these things. Now, if you use all these things and Atomy has them, I highly recommend you use Atomys because of better quality, absolute price, okay, absolute standard. And Atomy is really about the lifestyle, a higher and better lifestyle in a holistic approach. That is, in your spirit world, in your mental world, in your physical world, and in the community world. So that's what Atomy stands for, a complete lifestyle. So know the products, know them in the PPT, what is being mentioned, know them in the media, know how to use them to share with people, because it's like a good news that you share with people. That's what I have been doing. It's interesting because I talk to people and I begin to tell myself I'm sharing the news, I'm sharing the good news. And therefore I tell them how good is Atomy. Basically, because I observed them, I found them, I used them. And when I find myself stuck and not able to share as passionately, then I know I haven't really noticed the product well enough to have an impression. So I have to go back to it, because this is something that I do on a daily basis. So before I came to talk to you, I actually have a little pimple that is coming out on my face. I don't know if you noticed, but you notice that it is not there then because I tell you, I realized I have the BB cream. And so I use the BB cream. Okay, and I feel the texture and I put it on and I make sure it's I adapt it in a way that it is not so obvious because I understand it can be spread out easily. So I understand the texture. I took notice that BB cream can assist me in a time like this because I have to present myself well before you in front of the camera, right? So this is what Atomy can do for us. So the fourth thing that we can do on a daily basis, and all four are things we can do by ourselves on our own. All four are things you can do that will bring change in you personally. So the number 4 is to commit to action on a daily basis. Make sure you take action. Just do something. Read the material, motivate yourself. Read the PPT of products, get to know the products. Listen to the channel Atomy, get to know the people, get to understand Atomy more. The first 3 done for the day. And the first 4 is also completed when you do all the first 3. Take action, do something. Further on, in the number 4 section, where you do something about it, you take action, it includes writing out your name list, it includes what you're going to do for the day, for the week, what you're going to do, schedule your appointments, get all these things done. And the best part is get out and go make those appointments. Go and meet, go and have those appointments done. Those are the 4 things. The clue to success. The patterns. The first 4 patterns that you can adopt for yourself. Now, the next 4 that are also success clues for us, patterns that we can all follow, has to do with interactions with others. You have to interact with people. So one of the success clues, the pattern that we are looking for that will help us to follow to be successful. The first one has to do with sharing Atomy. Okay, so this is number 5 really, but the first one of the second part. First part, do all by yourself, all 4 of them. The second part, do them with others. Don't do it alone. Do it with others. The first one, share Atomy. You need to talk to people. Some people say, well, to be successful with Atomy, stand in front of the mirror and start talking. Yes, but perhaps for the initial moment. But the best part is still, since you're going to spend time practicing at the mirror, you might as well spend time practicing talking to someone because of the human dynamics when you are interacting. So that is a good practice, really. Talk to your partners, talk to your leaders, practice it, talk to new people and tell them honestly, I'm new at this. I'm learning how to share. I hope you'll bear with me. And it's okay. People are more forgiving than we all like to think. They are when you are sincere, when you're not trying to sell. That's why we share Atomy. We don't sell Atomy. We share. The only right you have to share is because you are willing to listen to others. So you share what you have heard from others. So when you talk to people, you always ask a question. How are you today? And listen. And when they start to talk about health issues and they talk about money issues and they talk about security and the future and they talk about relationship issues, that's where you begin to share Atomy, because Atomy has an impact on health, on income, on time, which is basically how I hit health, income, time, how I hit my goals. And that is a success pattern. I focus on these 3 areas every time I share Atomy. Share freely. Share because I know about the products, because I use them, I took notice of them. Share because I've spent time with Atomy, I understand the company introduction and I can share those information. Share Atomy. The next thing that you have to do with others has to do with checking your PV, perhaps. Go into your group purchase, and so on. Check the PV. Check what people are using, your partners, your consumers, your team of people that you have introduced and sponsored in. And now they use products or not use products. And then you check what they have been using, how they have been using. You follow up. You stay with them. You don't let them buy things and then they make them feel that you have forgotten about them. The third thing of this second four, which you have to do with people, or rather the third and the fourth, the last two, has to do with your team. First, your leaders, they are part of your team. You need to spend time. I do spend time with my leaders. Talk to my leaders, go on the chat group, talk to them on a daily basis or as often as you can. Talk to them, connect with them, connect with your leaders. Then, of course, you need to lead your team. And that is the final four parts. So let's go a little bit more into the detail. The first four, remember, you spend time devoting yourself to your purpose, and then you relate to Atomy, and then you notice the product as you use them. And of course, you commit yourself to action. Now, the second four, whereby you begin to work, get it done and work with others, has to do with sharing Atomy, has to do with, checking your business, checking your team, checking how they are doing. Because our success is measured by the PV. That is just part and parcel of Atomy. It helps us to be accountable. It helps us to be focused. It helps us to be measurable in our success. And then the relationship part, connect with your leaders and lead your team. So that is the second four of the 8 factors. Okay, let's go into the details of the second four. When you share Atomy, you share the company introduction, you share the product introduction, you can share the compensation plan, you can share the success system, you can share the life scenario plan, you share your dreams. So many things you can share, but you share so that you can hit your goal and you focus on health, income, time, because you have heard, you have listened, and you hear what people are saying. And when they talk about these things, you share with them. You don't tell, you ask. You don't tell them about Atomy. You ask to find out how are they doing, and then you share Atomy. I hope you understand what the strategy behind, and that's what I do. You ask questions. You know their context. You must understand their context. You must understand their circumstances. You must understand the questions that burns within them. And then you share what is fitting for them. And then you shut up on those extra information that you think is helpful for them, but it is out of context and it's not relevant for them at that point in time. So you need to share at the right time by earning the right to share. And the right to share is when you have heard, because you ask that question, because you care, not because you're inquisitive, but because you ask, because you want to know the person better. And that's how I practice, and that is the clue for success when I talk to people. And then the next thing in detail, when you check the PV and you check the points, but basically you check your team, you check your consumers to see if they are ready to consider the business, to be loyal customers, and then to consider the business. Because these are your good candidates to consider the business. You check the PV of your business builders to see if they are doing it correctly, to see if they are doing it effectively, to help them measure their outcomes, so that there is an accountability for their time and their effort. You check the PV of your group performance to know if you are mastership challenge ready. So all this is part and parcel of being successful in Atomy. It is necessary. It is not cumbersome because it gets increasingly easier when you have the pattern, the success pattern. And this is one of the patterns. The way in which you would do your routine. The third part of the second portion is to connect with your leaders, and that is your sponsors, the leaders. You know, you have so many leaders. You have sales, you have Sharon Rose Masters, you have Star Masters, failing which you have Royal Masters, and you go up to your Crown Masters and your Imperial Master. You are connected to them. But you know, they may not know you. So the challenge is for you to know them so well, they will get to know you. So I challenge you, know your leaders, connect with them, and watch their patterns. Watch what they say, the way they say. Hang around, watch them. The closer leaders you have with you, your Sharon Rose Masters, your Star Masters, watch them. The Sales Masters can watch the Diamond Masters, and Diamond Masters and Sharon Rose, so on. Watch them. And they are not good enough, it's okay. Your vision is far bigger than that. Do not let your success be dependent on people, including your leaders. That is my personal reference. If my leaders fail me, I go to the next leader, or I look at the principle that I've seen in the pattern of my leaders. And I relate to my leaders even more to help them come back so that they will be better leaders. So it's a relationship. It is ideal, what I'm saying, in some cases, but I've done that many times, working with my leaders. Remember, my immediate leader is younger than me. So I somehow have a certain influence to bring him back so that he could lead well. Okay, and this is very useful and important information for you to consider, especially some of you when your leaders are younger than you, and there are more and more younger leaders younger than you. But you can certainly as well contribute. But first you must follow. Then you earn the right to help them become better leader. Finally, you must lead your team. Lead your consumers. Lead your business builders. Lead your active agents. Lead your team leader. All right? When you lead them all, you are leading yourself. And when you do that, you will be able to lead well, successfully. And this is one of the important success patterns that we are talking about. So I hand over to you the success pattern, the clue, and basically they are synonymous with the 8 daily core actions that some groups talk about. But today I present it in a way to help you see better that these are success patterns. And they are clues to help you understand that because many who are now successful, they follow these 8 daily core actions. They are not rules, they are patterns. They are ways of success that has been proven. They give us clue how we can be successful. There could be more than all these 8 for some people, but these are the 8 common ones among all the successful people. And I hand them over to you now, right? So in this sharing session, I hand them over to you so that you know. You now have 8 clues for success. And you can begin to observe others, observe yourself, observe your team, and see if they are able to adopt these clues, because the more they do so, the more they would follow this pattern, the more successful they would become. So this is what I have experienced so far. I'm committing myself to these 8 factors as well, these 8 core actions. I'm committing myself to my success, and this has been my journey. This has been my road, and I'm still moving on. I'm still aiming and going for my Star Mastership. I'm going for my Royal Mastership, my Crown Mastership, and eventually my Imperial Mastership, because that is the pattern for success. That is the clue. I have seen those patterns, and I'm working myself to follow them wholeheartedly. It's a matter of time. I'll get there, and I challenge you to follow me. The pattern that I show, the clues I've given to you, and watch me as I grow, follow me, but please don't watch me from afar. Watch me close, follow me. You can watch me close if you follow me close. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you once again for your time, for learning. I hope you picked up a clue here and there. Of the 8, there are some that resonates better with you than others. It's okay. Work on those first until you get better and better, and you will find that the others that initially may not resonate so well with you, they will fall into place because you will begin to change. So I challenge you to change. I challenge you to grow like I do for myself, change and grow all the time, right? And we will see you at the top together. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Ria Radjatjut, Sales Master. Please remember to like and subscribe. Don't forget to tune in next month for another episode of Atomy Oceania online one-day seminar. It will be on Saturday, the 5th of September at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you then. Bye.